Hey everybody, and good morning, afternoon, evening, night, somewhere in between time. 1 second, y'all. Hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. All right, y'all. So, sorry about that. Let's get into this, shall we? So, y'all seeing what I'm seeing? I was shuffling these cards, and then this Ten of Swords came out. I was like, "Oh Lord, the Ten of Swords!" And then I flipped it over, and I was like, "Oh, okay, the Seven of Swords." So that's not bad, right? And then I was like, well, what's behind the Ten of Swords? I'm doing it y'all way today. I'm being considerate. The Father of Swords. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty good. Because this is saying to me that if we can consolidate, do that alchemical numerological magic on these 10 swords, consolidate it down to an Ace of Swords, change some things that we already know that we should change. And I feel like with this 10 of Swords, it's almost going to put us directly in the space of a king or a queen. Just because it's like I woke up today feeling like it's time for me to change my narrative. Yesterday, I kept talking about how doing homework just does something to me. It does not agree with my soul. Just... And I woke up today like, you know what? It's time to change the narrative because if this is something that I need to do to get where I want to be and to get where I need to be, then I do it. And it doesn't take anything out of me to do what I know I need to do for me, you know? So that's what we're doing today. And I was like, you know what? Scorpio season is next month. Next month. It's in like a few days. It's this month. Maybe like a week or so, 10 days or so, 9 days or so. I don't know. And I was like, well, I can get a head start on Scorpio season by transforming this one thing that I know that I can transform. Um, Also, Mercury is going to be going retrograde in approximately like 8.5 hours, I believe. So, we got that to look forward to. And hold on, well, let me check. Let me check the ad. Let me check the ad. Let me see. Let me see. Where is Mercury? Mercury. I'm obsessed with my birth chart, y'all. I got this big old hexagon in my birth chart because I have a sextile that runs all the way around. And then because of all the trines that I have, there's like this little octagon looking thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, yeah, it's a little weird on the side, but I don't know. Anyway, let me get to the current chart details. Mars is 21 degrees, Aries. Ooh, he's closing in on my Venus now. Please don't. Please spare me. Please spare me. So yeah, approximately 9 more days of Libra season. We're 20 degrees 50 minutes. Mercury, it retrogrades in 7 hours and 30 minutes, or it stations retrograde in 7 hours and 30 minutes. But this to me is feeling like if we can hold our truth, put an end to these cycles, it puts us in the space of reclaiming our birthright. And our birthright just being sort of granted access, permission to the. Am I about to put reversals in here? Hold up, because I ain't trying to do all that. Well, maybe I should have checked. Yeah, okay, it's fine. It's granted access, permission to the life that we can live. Yeah, and then there's the Ten of Pentacles. It's all of that. But again, we're in a space of reclaiming it. So let's go. 8 of Swords with this Father of Swords. 8 of Swords, no mo. Father of Swords took it. So this is how we're going to do it today. We're going to do 3 cards, top and bottom. Ooh, starting with the Son of Swords. I said I was going to have it facing y'all today. I told the story. I'm not. I'm sorry. Not really. I kind of am. I'm kind of sorry. Oh, snap. Okay. With the 6 of Cups, bridged by the Sun. Do I want another jumper? Is this how this is working? I don't think so. No, it's not. Oh, goodness. Well, I gotta take them because the Ten of Swords came out. Oh, this is longer than I thought it would be. And we'll leave that a mystery. Bottom of the deck is the Devil. Should we be surprised? Should we be surprised? No, we shouldn't be surprised because the Ten of Swords came out with the Father of Swords, meaning it's time for us to untwist, uncontort this seemingly well-crafted illusion, right? An illusion is always well-crafted until you spot the inconsistencies, right? It's like, if you looked at it, that person, okay, well, let's not get into complexion issues because, you know, that ain't always whatever. One more moment, please. I'm sorry. Hold it. There we go. Hey, Miss Renault. How you doing today? I had to swipe on some deodorant because I showered, but I forgot to put some on. Because after I got out of the shower, I just went outside. And somebody was trying to sweat. I was like, no, I didn't just shower for no reason. I hate when I shower and then I get like immediately stinky again. One second, y'all. Sorry. You're okay? I'm doing pretty good today. I'm having an amazing day today. Thank you for asking. I'm wearing my sweatpants. I got some sleep last night, so it's a pretty good day. It's a pretty good day over here. It's a pretty good day. 1 second. One moment. Thank you. Good to say. It's good to say. I know I'm like all up over here being rude AF to y'all's, but priorities, honestly. Feeling a little singy today. I'm feeling a little singy today. Okay, so let's get back into this. So it's no surprise that devil energy is down here at the bottom, and it's like we think that things are a well-crafted illusion until we get to the point where they're not. Then it's like, wait, like how did I not see that? Oh my gosh. How did I not see that? Oh my gosh. Like I must have been really feeling it or really in it or something. So let's get into this. This is quite a bit more cards than I thought would come out today, but that's fine. Because it's always whatever it's supposed to be or meant to be, and sometimes it's just a whole bunch of stuff and nobody knows what it is. And I'm like, I'm kind of there, but I don't see how this is relevant to anything or something. I don't know. So we're starting with the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is facing the overall card at the bottom, which, if you forgot, is this devil energy. Now, the Knight of Swords is interesting because it actually came out with the Mother of Swords over here. And speaking of well-crafted illusions, it was the Mother of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, the Son of Swords, and something else. One second. Sorry, not sorry. We back. So we back. So the father or the Son of Swords came out basically because it was the internal desire of that Queen of Swords energy to actually not do to break out of the web that she had built for herself. She was in this spider type energy, creating these wonderful webs made of some of the most delicate but strongest material on the planet, literally. And it's like at some point she had become prey to her own shadow. She had become prey to herself. And the Son of Swords was that internal desire for her to just cut herself free. And I'll clarify these up now. Clarified by the Nine of Wands, I feel like it's almost stepping away from something that she's been building for a long time. But also, because when I see this card, it looks like trees in a forest. If we hold it on its side, right? But with the change of perspective, it's like we see that the unknown thing is actually brighter. And that the moon, where there is a moon, there is a sun. right? Because in order for you to see the moon, there has to be some source of light, right? Because it's reflecting something. But we also understand that the moon is not the sun. And if all we ever see is the moon, then it says something about where we are and where we're going. It says that we're always on the dark side of the earth, right? And if we turn and go in the opposite direction, then, or a different direction, eventually we'll discover the sun. We'll experience day. And it feels like we're getting sort of reaching our breaking point in a sense. And this is happening before the Ten of Wands. So it is almost like there's an opportunity to kind of sort of get out while the getting is better than what it'll be if we choose to stay in it. Because after we hit the Ten of Wands, then it's like that's when a lot of other that's when the weight really starts to hit us. And for some reason it just came to my mind. I saw a YouTuber, a different YouTube. Well, no, I've seen this YouTuber in my dream before, but last time I saw this YouTuber in my dream, it was real weird. But anyway, he was talking to somebody and teaching her some kind of like yoga position. And the first time I didn't do it because I'm like, I'm not about to do this. The second time I tried it, and for some reason I felt the strain in my teeth. And I'm like, what a weird place to feel the strain of this stretch. My teeth. And I guess these also could be teeth, right? Like if we look at a skeleton, these could be teeth, but they're fused together. And so it's like a mouth that can't open. And then here is a truth. Going back to the Father of Swords that was behind the Ten of Swords before, here is a truth that has the power to liberate us from whatever. Almost like our mouth has been sewn shut in whatever this regard is. And if we can speak this truth before we're pushed to the point where it doesn't matter, then I think it's like it'll set everything into a perspective that we actually benefit from. And it puts us in a perspective that makes ending whatever it is that we need to end infinitely easier. But these two things are related. So it's like, well, yeah, it's easier down here if you already say it up here. Hello. Six of Cups clarified by the Three of Cups. Altogether, this is 9 cups. 9 cups broken down between the 6 and the 3. So, I'm sorry. I can't stop smiling. 9 cups broken down by the 6 and the 3. The 6 is, it's a space that we come into. I feel like it's kind of sort of related to an opportunity. And we may not get the exact same opportunity back, but what will happen is that we won't necessarily sabotage other ones in the future in the same way that this one fell apart. Because it feels like there is something in the past that we're wishing to get back to. Maybe not something specifically, but a state of being that we're wishing to get back to. Brighter times. And look, then here's the sun here. And like I said, it's like when you speak the truth, it's gonna shift things in a way that it's like there's this space of chaos. of planets just swirling around with no direction, and this third bird is coming to plop a sun in the middle of all of this. And as we put the sun in the middle, it locks everything into place, into its orbit, right? And there's something about the truth that just really it puts everything in place. And it reminds me, I know I talk about it so much, but it reminds me of the Leo retrograde story, because it was all about sort of holding these things close that are keeping you stagnant, while there are these things further out on the outside that may actually progress you. And it's as you're learning and as you're growing, as the sun expands, the other planets rebalance around it, but you can't hold certain things in place and expand at the same time, because if you do that, you're going to fry those planets. If they don't have time to adjust to the expansion, then it leads to these sudden and drastic sort of changes that just throw everything off balance. But I honestly feel like this truth, once spoken, and again, it's not, there are no time limits on this, but since everyone has free choice and everything is run by someone, right? Like even a job, like someone does the hiring, right? If the time passes by, then on the other side, they're going to have to make their own choice to move. But once this is spoken again, it's like it puts everything into place. And it may not be the same opportunity, but this truth is going to open you up to other opportunities. Opportunities that without this sun, they just won't be. I mean, going back to yesterday when we talked about the terms of the contract, it's like we'll release this thing to you only if you fulfill these requirements. And it's more things that we learn in ways that we grow than specific whatever. And since that's the fulfillment of the contract, everything having to deal with what you want is fulfilled in the contract. And the thing is turned over to you after you fulfill everything. And so there is no contract afterwards. There's only choices that you make to continue to further the thing or to not. That's why all of the growth is done on the front end. Because once you receive it, your free choice and your free will is acknowledged. And I mean, you're not going to be forced to do anything with what it is that you're manifesting. So if you let it shrivel and wither and die, then that was your choice to let it shrivel and wither and die, and it's dead. Right? That's why we ended with action yesterday. Those horses that were, reined together and under the control of the chariot in the action card, they're free to roam. They make their own choices, they make their own decisions. Nothing is contracted at that point. And, that may differ from what some other people say, but I'm just telling you my perspective. Everything I say over here is from my perspective, and it's my own opinion. I don't claim to know everything, know anything. I just tell it how it come to me, right? Take it as it resonates for you. But that's why, like, in my own life, I feel like there have been several times where I felt guided to a certain person or situation, but that person was not contracted to me, right? So if I let myself self-sabotage that opportunity or that relationship, then that relationship is gone. It wasn't like, oh, we're contracted to be in each other's experience, so you just got to put up with whatever. It was like, no, I've lost many an opportunity and a lot of people that I didn't even take the time to get to know because of whatever I was going through. That's why this Ten of Swords is important. That's why it's important for us to go through this card of ego death, because if our ego gets in the way later, I don't know if we can claim contract. Sometimes some people like to use like these things that we feel tied to other people with, like, oh, you can't leave because of this, you can't leave because of that. And I feel like that is not going to be valid later, because once the sun comes, our tolerance for darkness diminishes, honestly. And it's not that there won't ever be a dark moment, because just as the sun rises, the moon rises. And just as the sun sets, the moon sets. But girl, again, like, we ain't doing this thing where we stay on the dark side of the planet. If it's necessary, that's up to y'all. The Ten of Swords with the Seven of Swords, which was reclaiming that birthright, right? Now we have the Father of Wands instead of the Father of Swords. The Father of Swords was the one, let's say, he's begun to operate in this truth, but he hasn't necessarily spoken it yet. But he's accepted it and he lives his life by it. But without that truth being spoken, it's not released into the world to be this sun, to bring this clarity, to catalyze whatever change it's going to catalyze. And so in our own internal world, we can kind of sort of make these strides, right? But if we want to experience anything outside of ourselves, it requires us to make that truth known, to put that truth out into the universe, for the universe to shape, mold, work with, do whatever, right? And going back to yesterday, it's the masculine energy that sort of projects its consciousness, and it's the feminine energy that holds the space for that consciousness to take form. So if you never put it out there, then it's like we have these empty cups with no liquid. We have these vessels with no spirit to put in them. And then you get these soulless things that, I don't know, it's not great. But the Father of Wands is also telling me about a realignment of desire. Because we know that if we want to claim whatever it is, reclaim whatever it is that we're reclaiming. Look at these two Leo energies. I'm such a fan of Leo energy lately. I'm not gonna lie. Can you tell? It's about knowing that if we want this, we're gonna have to go about, the way we go about getting it is going to be different than the way we went about getting other things, and the way we go about keeping it is also going to be important. And so it's these very sort of fundamental micro shifts that are actually huge, and it isn't anything that violates who you are as a person. It's just like the next evolution, the next step of you. Then we have the Mother of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Eight of Wands, and I love this. So here's the Mother of Swords that we talked about with that Father of Swords, who was trapped in her own web of perceptions. Now we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is again clarifying this birthright that we have permission to get access to. And then this Eight of Wands, meeting the Eight of Wands, meeting the Father of Wands is this Eight of Wands. And again, we see this spark that unites them. That same little lightning bolt spark. Oh, they switched sides. And again, I feel like it's breaking whatever habits and patterns that devil energy put us in. I might have to go looking for what's around the Father of Swords if he don't pop up, honestly. Honestly. I think I'm going to have to do it. Now we have the Son of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles coming out, kind of sort of in this outcomey energy. I feel like the Son of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles, it speaks to the dedication and determination that it's going to require for us to work through whatever this Ten of Swords ending is. Because I feel like there is a potential for this, like, kind of sort of emotional blowback in a way, right? Like, whenever we hold other people accountable for why we're not where we think we should be in life, that's one thing. But then to begin to see how we play our own role and how we're primarily responsible for where we go in life, especially moving forward. Now, in the past, it was a whole bunch of this sort of cobwebby things tied up type of energy. But moving forward into the future with everything that we're going through as individuals and as a collective, it's like those excuses are no longer going to be valid. And I feel like there's this initial wave of something like shame and blaming oneself for why they aren't where they are, and it can be really, really easy to fall into that darkness and to beat yourself up over things that you can't even change. And again, it's like the way that we correct for the past is how we move forward in the future, because the past is the past and it happened. It's not going to change. But we can decide with the Son of Pentacles that we're going to make something out of that, that we're going to turn it into fertilizer to be the bed in which these new things grow, right? And that's almost this energy. It's almost coming back full circle, because that's clarifying this down here. We take the last bit of life out of this, we grind it up, and then we plant our new seed in it. Old dreams fueling new dreams, old letdowns fueling new dreams, old whatever feeling brand new whatever. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna go look and see what's around the Father of Swords. The Father, because the last time the Father of Swords was the one who was actually like, you know what, I'm gonna try that new thing. And the Mother of Swords was the one that was like, I want to try that new thing, but you know this crappy crap I got going on over here that I'm well established in. I think I'll stick to this. Father of Swords was like, you can have it. Father of Swords, it's me. You can have it. I'm not gonna fight you for it. You can have it. I'm moving on. Yes. With the Ace of Cups and the Six of Wands outside, we have the Daughter of Wands and the Mother of Wands. And like I said, with that King of Wands energy, it matures us in a way, because it's just like we know that we got to be different. We know that we got to be more. We know that we got to do better. And as we're in a space of doing all of that, things just naturally align. And so we see the entire, because I went looking for the Father, we have the entire Swords family except the daughter, and we have the entire Wands family except the son. He was really in between. So yeah, on one hand, for me, this is kind of sort of reiterating as well that we may not necessarily get the exact same opportunity as the one that we lost out on, but we are going to get something that we still enjoy. And maybe it wasn't for us to get that last opportunity. Maybe that last opportunity just opens us up to new potentials and to what's actually meant for us. But again, I feel like whatever clarity needs to be spoken in that space, it's still for us to speak it. Because these truths, without being put out, it's like it prevents something from coming in. And there is no expectation of whatever. It's just, this is what the truth is. This is what my truth is. And I can't control if it's accepted or how it's accepted, but this is what I got to do for me to move on. And I say that because now it's like this. Oh, interesting. So the Father of Wands and the Mother of Swords came out, and the Mother of Wands and the Father of Swords came out together. So they may not necessarily be together anymore. But look, they both found something that it's like they both found something that the other couldn't provide. Maybe they were too similar. Maybe they were so similar that one couldn't provide what the other was lacking. And so they were both requiring and needing something from the other person that the other person just wasn't equipped to give. And it looks like as they go out and as they continue to live their lives, they do get that amicable, like, we realize that we don't really work as, a couple, but we do work very, very well as friends or partners in business or whatever, right? Just not romantic. Because we're both too bullheaded, we're both too stubborn, we're both too airy and cold and detached. Sorry. But they find something similar elsewhere. And that's why I said maybe they were too similar. Because they both go for a Wands counterpart. But again, I feel like this truth still needs to be spoken. So that's what I got over here. I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna go over to the new channel and put some SKTs on top of this and see if we continue the story or if it's a different story. But this serves as a different sort of undertone for that story. Over here, it's time to set ourselves free. It's time to liberate yourself. Time to speak those truths that you should have been, not should have been. Well, there's judgment. So yeah, you should have been. Things that should have been spoken a long time ago, it's time to speak them. And it's not should have been spoken. Oh, judgment, the lovers in the tower. Oof. Well. And then the Four of Pentacles. I think it'll open some things up though, honestly. And even if it doesn't open this same doorway, it's going to put you in a space to make choices moving forward that are more honoring of the self and who you really are. And then there's the Emperor behind that Four of Pentacles. So yeah, it really frees this up to just like take charge and stuff, So that's what I got. I'm going to put this Devil card back at the bottom of the deck. And I think the Seven of Swords was behind it. Or the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups and the Eight of Cups together. Just in case if I forget what the bottom of the deck was over there. But I'll end that Judgment, the Lovers, and the Tower with y'all. Because, again, that's the thing about the Father of Swords. I'll put the Ten of Swords back up here as well. Ten of Swords, Seven of Swords. Yeah, this is how it was. Because it's like in order for us to claim whatever it is, these better lives for ourselves, we have to go through the space of the ego death. Because if we don't change how or why we make the decisions that we make, it doesn't matter what we're going to get, because we're going to continue to treat it as if it were the same. And again, that's the thing about that well-crafted illusion. It's like, until you know that it's an illusion, it's going to be well-crafted, but somebody can point out the smallest, tiniest of inconsistencies, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I thought that was something that it obviously isn't. Like, I really thought that was a well-crafted illusion, but this whole time it fell apart at the very beginning. At the very beginning it was different, or at the very beginning it was exactly the same. But again, whether it's different or the same is relative. And when the sun comes out, it'll be revealed. So that's what I got. I don't know what this. Well, I'm not gonna say. I don't know what this was. I hope this resonated in some way. If you found it helpful, then I'm glad you found it helpful. And I'll catch y'all later. Bye. I hope you have a good whenever you see this, and I hope you're acting in alignment to enter that best possible space, and not only enter that space, but to keep yourself in that space and to really explore that space without being self-ejected from it. You know.